crucial development that's coming in. We're also now learning that U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff has held another round of talks with Ukrainian negotiator Rustem Umerov, the country's Security Council secretary. Senior sources tell news agencies that a meeting took place Monday in Florida as Washington pushes a U.S.-led plan aimed at ending the war in Ukraine. The sources say questions remain around the proposal and that President Zelensky expects to meet Umerov in Ireland on Tuesday. He's awaiting a full report on Witkoff's discussions as diplomatic efforts intensify. The new round of talks comes amid heavy fighting and growing pressure on Kyiv to outline its position in ongoing peace efforts. Steve Witkoff will now be meeting Putin tomorrow in Moscow, viewers, and has held another round of talks with the Ukrainian negotiator Rustem Umerov. And senior sources are telling agencies that meeting was held today in Florida as Washington is pushing for a plan aimed to end the war. The new round of talks comes amid heavy fighting and growing pressure on Kyiv. Statements are also coming in from Russia that if Kyiv does not accept its demand, it might as well be prepared for a full-scale invasion. Putin had issued a warning to that regard just a few days ago. Zelensky, meanwhile, is awaiting a full report on Witkoff's discussions as diplomatic efforts are now intensifying. Meanwhile, Russia has captured 701 square kilometers, which is the second largest territorial advance of the war after November of 2024, by not taking into account about the initial months of invasions when the front lines were rather mobile. Putin has repeated his demands last week, suggesting Ukraine to give up territory. Dr. Sergei Dvoryanov, who's president of IDC Russia and director of WHT International Board, now joins us live from Moscow. Thank you, Dr. Sergei, for joining us here on NewsX World and taking time out for us. What are your expectations from the peace talks tomorrow when Witkoff will be speaking to Putin in Moscow?
Thank you so much for the invitation. Good evening, first of all. I would like to tell, of course, as a bigger historical requirement of this peacemaking dialogue, because we have two brother civilizations, two countries like Russia and Ukraine. Even we should know that before it was one country and one motherland and one civilization. Both of our countries is Orthodox countries, and even we was baptized in Kyiv. Kyiv before was a capital of all Russian civilization. And I would like to tell and remind to you that new administration of United States, Donald Trump, they announced, even during his election, Donald Trump announced that he wants to complete this peace deal together with the partnership of Vladimir Putin. And he is very much dedicated. We understand very clear this conflict, which was created and inspired by previous administration of Joe Biden. And right now we're very close to the final stage where we'll really receive real peace, which will be based on the common value, traditional and history between our countries. And we can expect also some change of the regime of Zelensky, because even right now, Mr. Zelensky, he is not president of Ukraine. He was not re-elected. And we can see a lot of scandals right now in his cabinet. And we can see bigger fighting inside Ukraine, the conflict of elite. But come to the nation, to the will of nation. All Ukrainian nations, they completely understand and realize that they was cheated by Mr. Zelensky, because during his election he promised that he will bring peace. During his election he promised that it will be a real dialogue with Russia, but he bring his nation to the war, to the conflict, to destruction. And right now, very soon, believe me, we can expect that he will be removed, and we'll see the new real leader of Ukraine who will put his signature on this peace deal.
But Dr. Dvoryanov, there are allegations that Russia is making rather maximalist demands. Many people are in fact saying the war would come to an end the moment Putin decides to do so. And as far as the charges on Ukraine and Zelensky's aides are concerned, many would say it's an internal matter of Ukraine, and that the said aides have already tendered their resignations. What do you have to say to those charges that Russia is making many maximalist demands, and for it, it's like my way or highway?
See, regarding the peace dialogue, we should be on the maximalist position, because it's reality is peace from one side and war from another side. Nothing in between. Nothing in between at all. We are peacemakers. Our nation, historically, we can see that always Russia was in the deep conflict with eastern part of the world and the western part of the world. But during last 1,000 years, we are fighting for our territory, for our national identity and civilization identity. That is in our blood, that in our genes, that is in our spirit. And come to the point that we should definitely, because we already was cheated by European politicians. It was a Minsk agreement, and European politicians, as you know, is a very strong historical fact. They cheat Russian Federation. Even previous Chancellor Angela Merkel, she very proudly, openly announced that yes, regarding the Minsk agreement, we just want to buy the time. Then we know that it will be not realized. We just buy the time that will initiate this conflict with Russia. Very openly they announce about their cheatings. That's why right now we should be maximalist position, because otherwise we'll be cheated again. It's not possible, because it's a like big challenger for all the world. And everybody knows that Russian nations is the most peaceful nation in the world. Because we defeat the Nazi, we save the world. Hitler was destroyed by most biggest contribution of Russian nation, 20 million lives. We should not forget about that. 20 million lives. That was the price of victory, of our victory.
All right. I request you, Dr. Dvoryanov, to stay on with us, and thank you for sharing your comments. Viewers, there's some more news now coming in. According to the data from the US-based Institute for the Study of War, the Russian army has made its biggest advance this year in November. However, in over a month, Russia has captured 701 square kilometers, which is the second largest territorial advance of the war after November 2024, by not taking into account about the initial months of invasions when the front lines were highly mobile. By the end of November, the Russian army controlled fully or partially, which is 19.3% of Ukrainian territory. Before Russia's invasion of February 2022 in Ukraine, Russia had 7% of Ukrainian land of Crimea and areas in the Donbas region in the east, which were under the control of Russia. Meanwhile, President Vladimir Putin has repeated his demands last week, suggesting Ukraine to give up territory, including land that Moscow does not occupy, for any deal to be possible. Since the start of 2025, Russia has captured nearly 5,400 square kilometers of territory in Ukraine, as almost 2,000 square kilometers more than in the same period last year. However, in a month, Russia has captured 701 square kilometers, which is the largest so far advance after the November last year. All right, and joining us in this conversation is John Rossomando, President of Viking Research Associates and geopolitical analyst. John, we just spoke to Dr. Dvoryanov from Russia, and he has stated some very crucial points. Russia continues to advance, and it's captured almost 20% of Ukraine now, and that's the official number that we have. Russia is going to proceed further if a peace talk is not finalized, and its demands are nothing short of full invasion and for Zelensky to step down. Now talks are due tomorrow. How do you expect those to proceed?
Well, I don't expect anything to come out of the talks. I mean, the Russians want Ukraine to give up areas of Donbass that it has been unable to capture by means of military aggression. I think it's kind of ridiculous for the Russians to expect to give up or gain territory that they can't win in the battlefield. Also, Zelensky's place in the Ukrainian government, I don't see Zelensky stepping down as part of a peace deal anytime soon.
All right. Just stay on with us, John. We have some breaking news now coming in. A federal appeals court has ruled on Monday to uphold a decision that disqualified Alina Habba